Welcome to Speak On It with Who You With CurtDog.
Welcome to the show. Let's get this party started.
I'm out.
Hopefully, y'all had a great day today.
I'm out.
It wouldn't be allegedly because he was charged.
Welcome to Speak. I'm out. Welcome to Speak. I'm out.
Why, those must be some good wings.
I'm out. Who You With CurtDog.
Welcome to Speak On It with Who You With CurtDog. I'm Who You With CurtDog. Hopefully y'all had a great day, a great weekend so far. We back once again in the house. Want to welcome everyone on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, D Live as always in the house. You can live chat with us in the chat room. And you can also call in 972-591 3665 972-591-3665. We're gonna hit on a couple of stories tonight. We have election coming up, so we're gonna talk about the election, and hopefully you have registered to vote. If you haven't, the deadline is coming up soon, so we're gonna hit on that a little bit, and also we're gonna talk about Amelia King. I know y'all probably seen the video, the mother out of Virginia that was at the school board talking about the mask mandate, and then she decided to make some threats and say that say that if y'all gonna force my kids to wear a mask, I'm gonna come up here with every gun I have locked and loaded. So we're gonna give an update on that story also. And then also, oh, excuse me, the New York police detective, where Joseph Franco, 133 cases linked to him have been dropped. So we're gonna hit on that also. So hopefully, y'all are ready for show. We are back in full stride. Our new days are gonna be Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday for right now, until we get our schedules where they need to be. So definitely join in the chat, or you could call in 972-591 3665 972-591-3665. Once again, want to welcome everyone to the show on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter. D Live is always in the house, and also Anchor.fm is also in the house. So coming up later this month, we talk about voting all the time on this show. So hopefully you did take heed to it and have registered to vote. If you have moved, please change your address. You may not have time to go back to whatever area you move from to go and vote. The last day to get registered to vote or update your information is January 31st, which is approaching real quick, which is next Monday. So you want to go ahead and get registered. Don't wait until the last day. Get registered now. We've been talking about these elections last year. We're talking about the governor race. Yes, the primary is coming up on March 1st. So we need to make sure we let our voice be heard, regardless of what party you support. But we need to get rid of Greg Abbott, bottom line. So we definitely need to get Greg Abbott out of office, and we also need to do our homework on other candidates that are running also. Got Greg Abbott, Dan Patrick, Ken Patson. A lot of people are up for re-election this year, as well as the Board of Education is up for re-election. So definitely take the time out, get registered to vote, and allow your voice to be heard when the primary come along. because this is a very important race. A lot of people only want to vote when it's dealing with the presidential race, but unfortunately, our laws are based up on our local laws, and that's where we definitely need to vote. We don't need people in office that's gonna file all these lawsuits using our tax dollars for a bogus lawsuit, talking about fraud within the election. So we need to get them out of office. Here it is, the same people that talk about um, not wearing masks, but as soon as they get hit by COVID, kind of find out they vaccinated. Why they supporting and saying, "Oh, it don't work" and all of this. So here it is. Why do you want someone in charge like that? It's time to make a change, especially here in Texas, because we've seen the type of laws that Greg Abbott have done down in Harris County, where he's closed some polling areas, and mainly in the low income area, making it hard for people to vote. What people say all the time, excuse me, it's not my vote don't count. Well, if your vote didn't count, he would not be taking that time out to change the laws to keep you from voting. Your vote do count. The only time it don't count if you don't get out and vote. So yeah, definitely get registered to vote. If you recently moved or excuse me, if you recently move or or whatever the situation may be, please make sure your information is updated. Excuse me. Um, and also, if you may not, probably wasn't able to vote in the last election, the presidential election, which is fine because you may been paying your dues back. Basically, if you um, was incarcerated, you on parole, on papers or whatever, if you paid all your dues back, you can get your voting rights back. Just go to vote.org. You can find out within a matter of seconds, whatever state you're located, if you could get your voters right back. So definitely take advantage of that and get registered to vote. That's the most important thing about it. Welcome to the show, Radio Chaos, out of Canada. Thank you for always tuning in and supporting the show. Um, I don't know what's going on. All of a sudden, my voice just started messing up as soon as I got on. Our weather is changing quite a bit. Um, it was what 60 something degrees today, and then the temperature is dropping, and they talking about possible snow flurries tomorrow here in Texas. Um, so that's kind of keep everybody kind of messed up on that. Um, Let me find out and see. Radio asked the question, what district does Dan Crenshaw represent? Um, are you talking about Dan Patrick, or let me pull up Dan Crenshaw, and I can tell you in just a minute. Oh, excuse me. He's actually da, da, da. I want to say he's in. Oh, excuse me. I kind of think he's down in near Houston, but I'm trying to find out and see. Um, I know we talked about him before because of something crazy he mentioned, and we did talk about him before. Hey, S.A. Allen, thank you for always supporting the show. Um, that's another governor we need to get out in Florida. S.A. Al, hopefully you and your family and friends are registered to vote as these primary getting ready to come up. So y'all can get rid of your governor because he need to go too. Him and Greg Abbott is on the same wavelength. Um, He's in the hold on. I want to say he's near the Houston area, but let me make sure. If I'm not mistaken. Da, 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 da. But I know he's on the same line. He's actually he's on the House Energy and Commerce Committee, which is bad because a lot of these folks they already talking about possible. I think last week or so they was talking about possible cutting electricity off again, which this is crazy. Put us on the same grid as everybody else, and that would that would um that would solve all of that. Um, I'm glad to hear y'all are registered to vote. So encourage your friends to get out and vote. The primaries are coming up, and we need everybody to vote. Um, yeah, Dan Crenshaw is in the Houston area, so he represents Houston. But um, I can't remember what he said last year that was really crazy. But he don't need to be reelected either. So we need to get rid of him too. So hopefully, a lot of people do what they supposed to do and don't sit on your butt and take it up on everyone else to vote for you. Your vote have to count. Uh, Keith Johnson, what's going on? We need to hook up. I know you told me you running for justice of the peace. I believe in Longview area. We need to hook up for you could get on the show and start promoting yourself. If it's any candidates that are doing the right things in your area, and you are running, please reach out to me for we could get you on the show and promote you. You don't have to be here in Texas. You could be anywhere. But trust me, we're going to do our background on you because we need to make sure you're doing the right thing and not just using this platform to promote yourself and you're going to get in there and do like some of these other folks. Gregg County, that's right. Gregg County, Texas. Oh, excuse me. So definitely shoot me a email with your contact information and I'll reach out to you tomorrow. And or if it's not too late tonight. Matter of fact, take the number down 972 591 3665 972 591 3665. Once you see me go off air, hit me up and we'll make arrangements to get you on the show to for people can support you. Um, his sister is probably totally yeah, it probably is. He's in this it's surprise sixth generation Texas. Um he's a US Navy SEAL. His father career in the Texas oil and gas industry. Yeah, so 9 times out of 10, anybody in that field is probably gonna support him, but that's okay. We need to step up and make sure we don't get people like this reelected or in office that is only concerned about making their pockets fatter. We need people that's going to do more things for the people and do their job and not just for a certain group of people. And unfortunately, that's what we run into a lot of time where a certain group of folks they get in office and they forget about how they got in office, but we need to hold them accountable. I don't care who you are. If you are running and you doing the right thing, I will support you, but we will do our homework on you. And if you start doing stuff wrong, just like I said with Biden and President Biden and First Lady, not First Lady, Vice President Harris, I supported them, but I'm not too pleased with what I've seen so far. So Will I support them again? Probably won't. Just being honest, because we need somebody who gonna not only walk the talk, but also the action need to line up with they talk. And I haven't seen that with them. So unfortunately, I'm out. Um, so that's where I stand. Now that's my opinion. Everybody have their own opinion, and everybody can vote for whoever you want to. But as for me personally, as of right now, I won't support them. Radio said Crew has already hinted that if Republicans take back the House of Representatives, they are going to impeach Biden. They've already tried to do that. Um, they tried it and it didn't work. But the thing is, um, they're gonna try to do a lot of things, and I think my personal opinion about it, the folks get in office and they forget about the people. They make it all about their self. Um, who can I don't want to say that. Might be some kids listening because a lot of kids out of school, but they want to have a spit match. See who can spit the feathers, and they forget about the people. And what really gets me upset is people don't realize it's not about parties. You got to realize whatever decision either one of these parties make, it's going to affect all of us if you like it or not. So we all need to come on one accord and say, hey, we need to do what's right for us and not just for one group of people, because we're all in this together. This pandemic have not discriminated about who get it, who don't. It affect all of us in some way. It's gonna affect all of us. What if it's affect you immediately? Somebody who you know, it doesn't matter. It don't discriminate, and that's how our lawmakers need to look at making these deals. What is going to be the best interest of the people, of our tax dollars that we're paying them very good for? What's going to be best for us, and that's what a lot of people don't look at when it comes down to that. They look at parties. Oh, the Democrat this, the Republican this. But what are they doing for either one of us? Because we're all in this mess together. Yeah, some of us may make more money than others, but at the same time, they pockets getting fatter than all of ours. And they still asking for donation. That's just like Trump. Since he been out of office, he's still taking up donation, having these rallies, folks still donating. Why? He might be getting ready to go see Big Bubble pretty soon. Yeah, excuse me. And it shouldn't be about um, parties. It need to be about what's best for all of us. All of us, not just part of us, all of us. So bottom line is get registered to vote. If you haven't got registered, whatever state you're in, check the deadline to get registered. Um, don't wait until the last minute. Do it now. If you need to break away from the show just to check your registration to make sure you're registered, do that. Come back. Let me know that you voted or you registered to vote. And tell somebody else, hey, we have a very important election coming up, because I don't know about y'all, but I'm tired of the lies that Greg Abbott feed, Dan Patrick, Ken Patson, and I want to know, when is Ken Patson going to be held accountable for his charges? Let's bring him to justice. So, yeah, let's look at all of that. Sid Miller. Then also you have the Board of Education. There's several judge and district senators running too. State Senate that is running here in Texas. Um, so it's a lot of things running. Constables, county chair, treasurer. So hey, let's do it. January 31st is the last day to get registered to vote here in Texas. But regardless of where you are, please get registered to vote for March 31st. You have no excuse for not voting. And as soon as early voting start, get out and vote. Don't wait until the election when early voting start. Go ahead and vote. It don't take long. You may have a small wait, but it's worth it because at the end of the day, you allowed your voice to be heard. And it's very important that we continue to, excuse me, we continue to allow our voice to be heard because they really feel like they don't have nothing to worry about. Uh, I know, um, I know, Greg Abbott. He's nervous because he have a lot of people running up against him. It's like, hey, Greg have pissed off a lot of folks, and he have a lot of folks running against him, um, and unfortunately, that's just where we are. Jamar Jefferson for U.S. Congress. Haven't heard their name, but I will do a research on them, and um, so we could definitely support him also. Hold on. I'm sorry, but I don't know what's going on with my voice. It was fine earlier, and then all of a sudden it just, soon as I click go live, it just went off. Jamar Jefferson out of Texarkana, Texas. I had kin folks that was from there, so looked like a pretty young guy. Uh, Not sure how old he is, but he looked pretty young. Um, so who knows? I will do some more research on him, and let's see if we can support him too. Just like we did with um, uh, Junior Ezino out of the city of Grand Prairie, which is doing a great job in Grand Prairie. They have a lot of stuff going on. If you don't follow him on social media, definitely follow him. You will see some of the things that's going on. And Kurt Johnson also. They both are doing big things in Grand Prairie. So um, follow them on social media. Keep up with them. They're making a difference in Grand Prairie. Those are the two brothers that was elected to city council last year for the city of Grand Prairie, and they're doing some big things. I had the opportunity, my wife and I, a couple of months ago, to hang out with Junior Zeno, um, which it was a great time. So definitely, if you're in the city of Grand Prairie, you know some of the work they doing. Let us know. Let us know. I know I follow him on social media, but I'm not on there all the time. But every time I see him, he's always doing some good things for the city of Grand Prairie. Those are the type of people I don't mind supporting. Somebody who's not only gonna be about getting out and making a change for their city, but they're gonna be outside of the office and in the community and working with the community to make a difference and listening to the community. So definitely support them. Also, um, matter of fact, Junior Zeno, uh, when he was selected, I believe he was getting ready to graduate from college. So he's a young brother. I think he's might be 22 or 23. So, and that's who Jamar Jefferson kind of remind me of because he looked fairly young himself, but age don't make a difference. Matter of fact, the brother that's running for, I think he running for Senate in uh, Louisiana. The brother, yeah, I know some of you have seen the video. He's on um, the video circulating. A couple of talk shows talked about him because he was like, "Hey, um, no policeman." He want to abolish the marijuana law, where they won't arrest you for marijuana because, and he was like sitting up there with a big blunt in his campaign ad. Talking about how young brothers like yourself getting stopped and getting hauled off to jail for that, and it shouldn't happen. And to be honest with you, um, to be honest with you, they just came out not too long ago saying that some of the chemical in marijuana is good for COVID. I don't know, but that's what they're saying. So, uh, radio said, thankfully, Matthew McConaughey decided not to run for governor, not qualified to run an entire state. He probably start off something local, cause he's in Waco and Austin area all the time. He go to pretty much all of Baylor games, so he's there all the time. Is it Baylor or Texas? Ain't it? Whichever one it is, he go to the college games all the time, and I think he probably would do better off if he started local. If he started local, he could get a lot done because of the support that he have and the way that he support the colleges down there. Um, and people know who he is. He's not just the superstar we see on TV talking about show me the money. He's one of those type of people that he just uh, ordinary person. I seen a video a while back where he went through Whataburger drive-through. He didn't make a big fuss. He was just being himself, everyday person. So I think he would do a lot locally, and I think he have a greater chance of winning that. Um, I'm not saying a movie star is not good because we had some movie stars come from Hollywood to the White House. Some was good, some wasn't. So it just depends. And I think if he got a little bit more experience or got some experience, I think it would be good. Cause politics is a dirty game. It is, and you gotta be mindful of that too. Um, and then he will have to make a decision if he want to give up his acting career or if he's going to try to do both. And at some point, something is going to come up short, either the acting or the politician part. So you got to look at that. And knowing him, he probably sitting back and kind of doing his studies and stuff, and for when he decides to retire from Hollywood, he will be prepared for it. So, um, but that's what I have on the voting. We definitely need to continue to encourage people to get out and vote, not just for the presidential election, but for every election, because all of them are important. You may go in there and it may be one or two things on the ballot, but that one or two thing could change, make a difference for what's going on in your neighborhood. So definitely get out and vote. Get registered to vote. The deadline to register here in Texas is January 31st. You must get registered by then. And the election is March 1st, the primary election. And that's going to be whoever gonna run against each other. I believe in November. So you definitely want to make sure you get registered to vote. I don't care who you are or uh, who you voting for. Just allow your voice to be heard. And once again, what's more important, I've heard last year talking about it. Some people were saying, man, I'm an ex-felon. I didn't know I could get my voting rights back. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Go to vote.org, um, vote.org, and um, they're going to ask you a couple of questions, and you'll know right then and there if you could get your voting right back, regardless of what state you are in. And I've done it. I've never been arrested, but I went in there and I put all type of stuff on my name just to see if I would get it back. And 9 times out of 10, if you finish paying your dues, you will get your voting rights back. And I believe somebody informed us last year is certain states, can't remember which ones, that even when they incarcerated, they would still allow their prisoner to vote. So so definitely take advantage of it. Get registered to vote. Once again, Texas, last day to register, January 31st. Get registered. Primary start March 1st. When early elections start, get out and vote and go from there. Excuse me. You're listening to Speak On It featuring CurtDog. I'm CurtDog. Want to welcome everyone once again. Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter. D Live is always in the house, and also Anchor.fm. Want to welcome y'all to the show. You can live chat with us in the chat room, and you can also excuse me. You can also call in 972-591-3665, 972-591-3665. One thing about calling in, please do not block your number. I will not answer. So if your number is blocked, I will not answer. Just FYI. So last week, I guess it was Thursday after Miss Risky and I got off the air. This young lady out in Virginia got upset, Page County, Virginia, got upset at the school board meeting saying that if they force her kids to wear a mask, she will come to the school board locked and loaded with every gun that she have. Hold on. Keith Johnson said #1 on the ballot, and my ex-brother-in-law here was reinstated to vote from doing federal time after. Hey, there you go. That's a testimony. So if you are a ex-felon, done time in prison, if you have paid your dues, get registered to vote. Go to vote.org. See if you can get your voting rights back. And what I mean about paying your dues, let me break that down. If you don't owe any more fees and you're off of paper, and some state will still allow you to register, even if you haven't paid your dues. You're in the process of doing it, you're in good standing, and you also have start paying your dues and all of that. So each state is different. It's different laws for everyone, different laws for everybody. So so definitely do it. Thank you for that information, Keith Johnson. Hopefully that would encourage somebody to say, hey, I need to find out if I can vote, and then go vote. But what I was saying about Page County, Virginia, Amelia King at the school board last week, school board meeting last Thursday. She was in there, and they was talking about uh, um, the mask mandate, and she made it known um, that if y'all force my children to wear a mask, I will come up here loaded and ready with every gun I have. And when Miss Risky sent me the story last week, I said, well, that could kind of sound like a terroristic threat to me. And you making a threat, and then it's at a school board meeting. And the time when we're having um, a lot of school shootings, and you're gonna make a threat like that? And I'm like, yeah, she finna get arrested. That night, they said that they was investigating it, and one of the school board member, someone that was in the room at the time, as soon as she said it, she immediately told her, "Your time is up. 3 minutes is up. That's the limit. That's the rule." I wish she would have allowed her to talk a little bit more. I really wish she would have, for the simple fact, if she went to the point to say um, she's going to bring all her guns up there lock and loaded, she probably would have said some other crazy stuff too. Well, as we all know, um, the internet never lost. They haven't lost yet. They are undefeated. Um, Welcome to the show, all aboard out of Florida. Thank you for tuning in. Happy New Year's to you. Glad to see you're back. So this woman, the internet never lost. It's undefeated. They went in. They found out where she worked at. Allegedly, she's a dentist assistant, and someone made a comment, "Oh, she's a dentist assistant and don't want to wear a mask. Don't want to wear a mask." So they done all type of things. They put a picture of her. I kind of think it was a Christmas picture of her and her husband holding assault rifles in front of a garage or whatever. So I'm like you, all aboard. They should have taken that threat very serious. Um, it's not the kids' fault that the parents are cuckoo for Cocoa Puff. Um, so my thing is, it's a threat. It's a threat for the simple fact you making a threat on a school. Now, they say she called back after that and apologized. No, 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 no. Don't apologize now. Because you knew once you said what you said, you was finna catch hell. And that's exactly what happened. She caught hell. Um, she called back and apologized, but she was arrested on Friday. Um, so, Page County, Virginia, the Luray Police Department charged the woman who made a perceived threat at Thursday night Page County School Board meeting. According to police, Amelia King, 42, was charged with a violation of Code of Virginia 18.2-60, oral threat, while on school property. Throughout the day on Friday, the police worked with the Page County Sheriff Office to investigate the incident and contacted both national and state agencies to determine how to best move forward. Luray Police Chief C.S. Bo Cook says that after consulting with state police and thoroughly reviewing the Virginia Code, the department determined charging King with a misdemeanor violation of Virginia Code 18.2-60 was the appropriate course of action. Um, I don't know Virginia laws, but for me, that's not something you take lightly. For the simple fact, we got people last year that tried to overturn our government, our election, by taking over Capitol Hill, and then you have school shootings that happen all the time, and these same folks fall up under the line of our last administration for the simple fact they didn't believe this virus was real. Now, here's the problem I have because, and I've talked with different people. I know a lot of educators, and um, they was like, "Hey, it's an issue in the school right now." I seen on the news earlier that Louisville ISD is shut down to Monday. Several other school districts have shut down, all due to COVID, whether if it's the students that have it or the teachers that have it. The bottom line is we have to come together as the people and work together to beat this thing. But some people feel like it's just the flu, the cold, or whatever. Even with the flu, you are contagious. You should not be around other folks because you can pass it on to them. Whatever you think this virus is, you should take every precaution you can. Unfortunately, they don't know enough about this virus that we don't know how long it can last, how long it can stay in the air. We don't know anything enough to say, oh, we can cure you if you get it. We don't know enough. So, of course, you should do everything you can in your power to try to protect yourself, your family, your friends, or just a complete stranger. Now, this virus may not hit everybody the same. Like I told you, back in December, I was exposed. I've taken many tests since December. They all came back negative, but I had all the symptoms. And I isolated myself. I said, no, I'm not finna put other people at risk. But my wife ended up getting the virus. Good thing she's vaccinated. Yeah, had mild symptoms, but also both of us, even though I never test positive, but I had the symptoms, she test positive and she had mild symptoms. But I said, no, what we finna do, we're not finna lay in the bed all the time. Unfortunately, a lot of people, when you feel down, you just want to lay down. You got to force yourself to get up and move around. Because if you lay down, that stuff is going to build up in your chest and you're going to get pneumonia. Then on top of that, you got to make sure you're forcing yourself to drink something. Even if you don't feel like it, drink something. Also, force yourself to eat something. Even if it's just a couple of spoonful, eat something. You gotta try to do something to build your immune back up to fight that virus. So, and drink, take your vitamins. Um, I have a friend that gave us a list of vitamins. I take about 10 different vitamins a day. Now, I'm not saying they're gonna work, but what I'm taking, it definitely helped my immune system. So um, I can't say it will work for you. You need to contact your doctor and find out what's going to work for you. So I definitely take this very serious. This thing is not a joke. All the boys said it's not the kids' fault, but it's too big of a risk to everyone else. Nope, let your homeschool, let her homeschool them or move. Well, the bottom line is, um, even homeschooling, sometimes it's a good thing, sometimes it's not. Here in Texas, they did have a survey where a lot of kids fell behind from when they shut the schools down before and was being homeschooled or being virtual schooling, which now they saying it's not enough teacher to even do that because a lot of these teachers are getting the virus, and it's gonna be like a round the clock thing. Um, it's just gonna keep going around in circle until we say, you know what, we tired of this virus. Let's sit down somewhere. Let's protect ourselves and try to do better. But as for Amelia King, she need to be held accountable. I know allegedly she's supposed to be a dentist assistant, and it's quite funny this law is called oral threat. I'm just saying. Um, but at the same time, she need to be held accountable. I feel like it should have been a terroristic threat. I don't know if it's a difference between the two because I don't know Virginia law, but you're making a threat of bringing guns up to the school. That's why I wish they would have allowed her to finish talking. Maybe the charges would have went up more. But at the same time, what were you gonna do with the gun? Do with your guns? You have them locked and loaded, and you're gonna bring them up there. What you gonna do with them? And she tried to justify herself at the beginning of a statement, saying that normally she write her statement down for she could sound educated, but she said she didn't have time to do it that day. Maybe you need to write them down. Maybe you wouldn't sound kind of crazy with that comment about bringing your guns up, lock and loading, and ready. But I don't know. My question is, what were you bringing them lock and loaded and ready for? That's what I want to know. So hopefully, they hold her accountable, and whatever happens. But they need to hold her accountable for her action. I just feel like that's a threat. Or threat, that sound like that's a flap on the wrist. That may be a law they just put in place just to cover her. I don't know. But it should have been more of a terroristic threat in the times that we're living in today with gun violence, where we recently had the gun shooting a month and a half, 2 months ago, the young man up in Minnesota, where his parents, it just came out, I guess his parents bought him the gun for Christmas. Bought him the gun for Christmas. He take it up to school and shoot up folks. Don't make sense. And they knew they son had some anger issue. That's why I say all the time, just because you're capable of buying a gun doesn't mean you necessarily need one. Um, but this is my opinion. Everybody else have different opinions. So um, then also we're gonna talk about Joseph Franco. Um, he was indicted. Um, he was an NYPD detective, um, Joseph Franco. Now, NYPD is in a world of trouble. They end up having to drop more than 130 convictions that relied on his testimony. A former NYPD Detective Joseph Franco were thrown out by a Bronx judge on Thursday, the latest in a wave of dismissal tied to the disgraced ex-cop. Bronx Supreme Court Justice David Lewis granted the motion to drop the felony cases against 133 defendants who was indicted between 2011 and 2015. Franco, who was fired by NYPD in April 2020, is awaiting trial in Manhattan on charges he framed innocent people by lying about observing them dealing drugs. The Bronx District Attorney Convention launched a review of the ex-cop cases after he was indicted in April 2019 on perjury, official misconduct, and other charges. We did not want to dismiss or vacate out of hand all cases he was involved in. We investigated those that hinge on his testimony and sworn testimony, Bronx County District Attorney Darcel Clark said in a statement. 133 people's lives have changed because of this one cop. This one cop lied and had all those type of arrests. And unfortunately, for New York City, they finna have to open up that checkbook because it's gonna be some lawsuits filed behind this for actually been arrested. Some of them probably been, well, they all was falsely arrested because he lied on them. But then just recently we had another case. I'm trying to pull it up because I didn't have it on the books for tonight. But they falsely arrest this young man because he had the same name as someone else. The same name of someone else, but the difference was this young man was a black young man. The person that had the same name was an older white guy. And they held this guy in jail for like, I forgot how many days it was, before they realized he wasn't the right person. And once he got out, he said, hey, I'm filing a lawsuit. That time he spent in jail probably have changed his life quite a bit. If he worked, he probably lost his job. And if he's the breadwinner, his family probably struggling. But the thing is, when you ran a check on him, I'm sure the picture of the guy came up. And even when they booked him, nobody seen there was a difference in it. So yeah, he should definitely sue him. Young Nevada black man falsely arrested for amazing resemblance to old white guy. Way too many innocent black people have been falsely convicted as a result of mistaken identity. They use facial recognition technology is as good at telling black people apart as their white co-worker. In 2020, Detroit police arrested Robert Williams outside his suburban house in front of his wife and young children. William was in jail for 30 hours. The cop realized they had the wrong guy. In 2019, Nigel Park spent 10 days in jail and paid about $5,000 to defend himself against charges that he shoplifted candy and while presumably on a sugar high, tried to run over a cop. Police was 30 miles away from the actual crime, but the department wasn't interested in basic geography when it had facial recognition technology. Um, so this young man, just imagine the terror that the kids had to go through. Um, as all the boys said, it's traumatic being stripped, searched, deprived of sleep, exposed to disease and violence as an innocent person at that. Exactly. Can you imagine the terror that his kids went through? That had to really uh, scare his kids, his wife, not knowing what's going on. But this guy ended up having to go to jail. Now this young man is, how old did I say he was, or did they have his age? Um, he looked like he's probably in his late 20s, early 30s. But the guy they was looking for is a 49-year-old white man with a with a straggly beard, and they couldn't tell the difference. And the guy's 5'9". Oh, Shane Lee Brown is only 5'7", 23 years old black man. Now Shane Lee. The other name is Shane Neil Brown. So the names were not even the same. Shane Neil Brown was a 5'11", 49-year-old white man with a struggling beard. There was a little, I don't know how, said they look alike. I don't see it. Shane Lee hair is kind of straight, but it's not real straight like Shane Neil. It's just crazy. Um, Said if he resisted being kidnapped, he would have been charged with that and possible physical harm. Yeah, it probably was. But I don't I don't know Mr. Brown, but he probably with his wife and kids there. I could just imagine um, his wife probably was there um, crying and the kids crying and don't know what's going on. And let me make a correction. I said 30 hours. Um, I said 30 hours. Um, he was in jail for 30 hours before the cops. Oh, that was Robert Williams that was in jail for 30 hours. But Shane Lee spent 6 days in jail. And during his extended stay, he desperately tried to convince two Nevada Police Department that he wasn't Shane Neil Brown. This shouldn't have been difficult. Shane Lee Brown was a 5'7", 23-year-old black man. Shane Neil Brown was a 5'11", 49-year-old white man. Um, so yeah, they need to pay for that. Just imagine being in jail for 6 days, you working, and you gotta call your job and tell them you in jail for a crime you didn't commit. You think your job gonna believe that? That's gonna be interesting. So man, so that's gonna be a couple of stories we're gonna continue to watch, um, and then all three of these actually we're gonna continue to pay attention to. Please get out and get registered to vote. I don't care where you are. I know in Texas, um, our last day you can register to vote in Texas or update your information because people move, and You may not be in the same county, so you need to update your voter registration for your county, because if you live 50 miles from your old county and you can't get over there to vote, you're going to be like, I ain't driving way out there to vote. Update your information for you don't have to worry about it. You can vote at your new address. I've seen last year during the polling time, going out to different polling place during the election, people coming in trying to vote. This was during the presidential election. They coming out trying to vote for the simple fact. It was one person I know had moved here from Atlanta, and they had been here for 6 months, but they never got registered here, and they got turned away. They told them, I'm sorry, but you can't vote here. You got to go back to Atlanta. So get registered to vote. March 1st is the start of the primary. When early voting come out, definitely vote early and go from there. You have been listening to Speak On It featuring CurtDog. I'm CurtDog, and until tomorrow night, we will be back again at 8 p.m. Central Time, if the good Lord said the same. Until then, love each and every one of you. Peace.